Hey YouTube, Josh here with his review of Pacific Rim, uh, Guillermo Toro's long time coming film that it's gotten quite a bit of acclaim, but it's also got a few definitely some people who are not real fans of it. And today I'm going to delve into reasons why I like the movie and why I think it's a good place. I think it represents a lot for the whole kaiju genre as a whole. Now let's put into perspective. Before this movie got released, I don't think there had been a legitimate kaiju movie in America since I can't really think of one besides maybe 1998 Gojira Godzilla movie. Unless you want to, you can count Cloverfield, I suppose. Although it's very hard to consider it a kaiju movie at times, seeing as the way it was done. Not saying it was bad or a good film or not, anything like that. I'm saying in a general sense of it, it was done in a very different style that, sometimes it's hard to even call it a kaiju film, so I'm not really going to include that. But yeah, it had been several years, several decades since we'd seen anything like it. And basically, I dare even say we hadn't seen anything like it quite financed by American. This is an American movie. Of course, in the world of Japan, of course, they're used to seeing, mechs fighting monsters and things like that. But that's actually not a very widely done thing in American cinema. And that's why you gotta love what Guillermo Toro did with this movie. He really brung all the things he loved about, the kaiju science fiction genre and put it together in a very Saturday morning cartoonish kind of way, but it was pretty badass for what it was. Now, things to praise, Guillermo, I believe it was cinematographer was Guillermo Navarro, the same man who's always been behind all of Guillermo Toro's best work. I'm looking it up, and yeah, he was. So the same cinematographer who made Pan's Labyrinth and the Hellboy films and Blade 2 look so incredibly great. And yeah, the shots in this movie will amaze the hell out of you. Everything looks really incredible. It's just really astounding what they accomplished. All the action scenes to me are great. To me, they're perfection in my eyes. The small bits of humor, the color schemes, the fight moves. If I only had one complaint, I would say that we didn't get to see enough of what Crimson Typhoon, I believe, and the Russian one, the Russian Jaeger. We didn't get to see exactly what they could do, in their prime. But I see why they got defeated so easily. Man, that was part of the story. They went in without having the knowledge of what they're going up against, so it kind of makes sense they would lose so fast. Just, you wish you had seen them in their prime to see what they had been capable of. But in any case, I'm still pretty glad for what we saw. I loved all the kaiju designs. Really did. Now, and also the music by Ramin Djawadi, I believe. I actually like his score quite a bit. I thought it was a very entertaining score, definitely something different audience weren't used to. Nice electronic, lots of use of guitar in there, but also still a very emotional score. Now, I think the obvious criticisms people throw at this movie are to its plot and its characters. Now, let me say a few things I will have to agree with. Now, to me, I know what the plot was going for, which was the unity of man against a common enemy, like in a lot of the past Godzilla movies, like Mothra vs. Godzilla, the ortho-head monster. I get that, and I respect that message quite a bit. That's why I like the movie. However, it was done in a very kind of bone cut and dry way, at least the fact that I hate some characters had to be such cliches. For example, I can't remember the character's name, but the Australian pilot, basically the douchebag son, he really fit that cliche of just a villain or just an asshole just to be an asshole. Like, I get you can get kind of the reason that he's mad about, like, oh, pilots like him ruined the whole organization, but at the same time, you just can't have him come off as such a douchebag. Like, he's not relatable. I mean, by the end of the movie, first time I saw it and still today, I still kind of like the character because, you know, he had his final moments with his father and his dog, and you felt kind of bad for him that he had to go in that last battle. But still, the movie needed to show a little more time to be sympathetic with him. I mean, he was just being an asshole. He got beat up, and that was pretty much it for his character. You know? But I really like the character a whole lot more. I still like the character's father quite a bit too, but once again, need a whole lot more of these characters. A lot of which I know was established not only in a previous screenplay, which is a lot more long, but people didn't want that version, of course, and explained in the Pacific Rim prequel graphic novel, which I have not got a chance to read, but I intend to. But a lot of details are supposedly in there. Some of it probably should have been left in the movie. Cut out some other stuff for that type of material, and you know, maybe we got a little better reception with the characters. Now, I know there's a lot of people who complain about the lead character played by Charlie Hunnam, and you know what? People say he's a little stoic and, you know, kind of a cardboard actor. I don't see the I think he did fine. I don't see the big deal here. I know he wasn't like a one-liner machine or anything like that, or maybe he wasn't exactly funny. You know, he didn't like grab your interest, but for the most part, I think he was a fine and relatable character. I don't see really what the big deal is. I really don't. As for Idris Elba, once again, a character who was a great character. He's written off a little too much like a character we saw in another movie, as a lot of people have drawn, you know, a lot of similarities to the Michael Bay film Armageddon. However, for what we get, I still like Idris Elba's character quite a freaking bit. I just loved him in the movie. And then as for Rinko Kikuchi, Mako Mori, I think she was a great character. Now, do I like the very poorly assembled kind of flirting / romantic scenes that you see kind of in the beginning? No. I like what it becomes later on in the film, as it becomes more about respect, and it's something different from the traditional love story you see in a movie where, you know, movie ends and you don't even see them kiss, because that's not what it's about. It's about them trusting each other and harmonizing with each other to win the day. So I like that aspect of it, but I did not like those first few, I guess you could say, just those clumsy romantic scenes that are awkward, really awkward, just didn't really flow. But yeah, now as for what I call I guess you could say the comic relief brigade of Charlie Day and Ron Perlman and the other scientist. Now, I kind of go back and forth this, but I actually still like their characters quite a bit. I wish they had written some of Charlie Day's lines kind of differently, but overall, I still like his character. But yeah, I think otherwise he was fine. He was a fine character. You know, that helps keep the empty up sometimes when we did different tone. I don't mind a little comic relief. I don't mind it. I like the banter between the two scientists. It was amusing. And Ron Perlman is Ron Perlman. I liked him in the movie. He was comic genius. He always is. He has perfect timing. He knows how to just say his lines just the right way. It's really awesome. So, you know, as far as like visuals and action and alright character interactions, the movie does very freaking well. It's just that making those characters stick with you, that's the part that some people find a little subpar. You know, some people say the parts without the monsters, as few as they may be, will be irritating, perhaps. And I wouldn't say all that. Maybe because I'm just a monster fan in general, so I'm used to, you know, seeing something a little different than you would see in something like Avengers, where it's just, you know, a lot of comedy in between the characters. Right here, it really is just a lot of like build up for the fights between, which is great. I love getting the build up, And like I said, it's a very different style than Gareth Edwards when it comes to action scenes, so you gotta appreciate that. Do I like 2014 a little more than this? Yeah, for a number of reasons. But do I hold this one as mediocre to it? No. I still think for what it did for the genre, it definitely demands a little respect. It definitely does. And I'm damn well looking forward to the sequel. I am hoping something's changed. Like, yes, I want a little more fleshed out characters, most definitely. But other than that, I don't think they have much that needs to be changed. I really don't think so. So, Pacific Rim, I would definitely give that movie about like a B+. Definitely go out and see it if you still haven't. And 2017, Pacific Rim 2. Josh out.